Before you ever learned the word physics, you already trusted a promise the universe makes to you every second. You trust that when you look at the sky, it will still be there. You trust that when you move your hand, it will obey you. You trust that time flows forward like a river that never questions its own direction. But tonight, I want you to imagine something uncomfortable. What if that promise is not real? What if the universe is not a stage where things happen, but a rule book that decides what is even allowed to happen in the first place? This is where the journey begins, not with equations, not with laboratories, but with a simple idea that once shocked the greatest minds in physics. There exists a speed in our universe that is not just fast, it is untouchable, a speed that does not belong to light, but to reality itself. Light merely reveals it to us, and the moment you understand that, space stops being a place, and time stops being a clock. Imagine standing on a platform as a train rushes past you. You feel the wind, you hear the roar, you see the blur of motion. Now imagine being inside that train, looking back at the world you left behind. Both of you describe the same event, but you do not agree on how long it took or how far it went. This is not a trick. This is the universe quietly admitting that time and space are negotiable. Here is the unsettling part. There is one thing both of you will always agree on. No matter how fast you move, no matter how hard you chase, that cosmic speed remains the same. It does not bend to you. You bend to it. Your clocks slow, your rulers shrink, your sense of now stretches and twists. In the next part, we will step past the illusion of motion and uncover why this single rule forces the universe to rewrite what it means to exist at all. By the time we reach the end of this series, you will not just hear about this rule. You will feel it in every step you take and every moment you remember. The world will seem solid, but your understanding of it will become flexible, like clay shaped by invisible hands. This is not a story about light. This is a story about you, standing inside a universe that quietly rewrites itself around your movement. And when you realize that you are not just observing reality, but participating in its rules, the question will no longer be what is true, but what is possible for the rest of life. Let us push this idea further, because the universe does not stop at making time and space flexible. It goes one step deeper and asks a far stranger question. If motion can change how long a second feels and how long a meter becomes, what happens to cause and effect itself? What happens to the simple belief that one thing must always happen before another? Picture two distant stars flashing at the same moment. To an observer standing between them, the flashes appear perfectly synchronized, like a cosmic heartbeat. But to someone moving rapidly toward one star and away from the other, the universe tells a different story. One flash arrives first, the other comes later. The order of events itself changes depending on how you move. The universe is not just bending time, it is allowing reality to disagree with itself. This is where the rule reveals its true power. That fixed cosmic speed acts like a referee for everything that can influence everything else. It draws invisible boundaries through space, saying, this can affect that, but not yet, and sometimes not ever. Every message, every force, every signal must wait its turn. Nothing gets to cut the line. Think about what that means for you. Every memory you hold, every decision you make, every heartbeat in your chest is stitched together by signals traveling through your body at limited speeds. Even inside your own mind, the universe enforces its rule. You are not a single, instant thought. You are a conversation happening across billions of tiny distances, carefully timed by an unbreakable limit. Now imagine trying to break it. Imagine chasing a beam of light, pushing faster and faster, hoping to finally catch up. The universe refuses. Instead of letting you reach the limit, it changes you. Your time slows, your world compresses. The finish line keeps moving away, not because you are weak, but because the rule is absolute. In the next part, we will step into the strange geometry that this rule creates, where past, present, and future are not stacked neatly in a line, but laid out together in a single, woven structure. When you see how your life traces a path through that structure, the idea of a simple now will begin to dissolve, and you will start to sense that existence itself is less like a moment and more like a shape moving through a vast, silent design. You will realize that you are not drifting through a universe that happens to exist, but traveling along a precise path carved by rules older than stars. And in that realization, curiosity becomes your compass, guiding you toward questions that never truly end for you. Now let us look at the path you are actually traveling, not through space alone, but through something deeper, something woven from both distance and duration. Physicists call it space-time, but that word hides how strange it truly is. It is not a stage where events happen. It is the fabric that decides what an event even means. Imagine your life as a glowing thread moving through a vast, dark tapestry. Every moment you remember is not just a point in time, but a location in this fabric. When you take a step, you are not only changing where you are changing the shape of the path you carve through existence itself. You are drawing a line through the universe. Here is the unsettling part. That line already exists in a sense. The rules that govern motion, speed, and causality do not wait for you to act. They describe every possible path you could take, even the ones you never will. The universe is filled with invisible roads that lead to futures that remain forever unexplored. This is where the idea of choice begins to feel strange. You experience decisions as moments of freedom, as if the future is an open field waiting for your step. But physics describes something closer to a landscape, where every move you make follows a contour shaped by the deepest laws of nature. You are not walking on empty ground. You are navigating a terrain defined long before you arrived. At the smallest scales, this terrain becomes even more mysterious. Particles do not follow single paths. They explore many at once, spreading through space as waves of possibility. Only when they interact, when they leave a mark on something else, do they settle into a definite history. Reality does not commit until it must. Think about what that means for the present moment. The now you feel so strongly is not a sharp edge separating past from future. It is a blur, a region where possibilities collapse into memories. The universe is constantly turning what could be into what was, and you are carried along in that transformation. In the next part, we will leave the realm of the very small and look upward, to where these same rules shape the motion of stars, galaxies, and the vast architecture of the cosmos. You will see how the same limit that governs the flicker of an electron also controls the dance of entire worlds, tying the smallest and largest scales of reality into a single, elegant structure. By the time we reach that view, you may start to feel that the universe is less like a machine and more like a story being written in real time, with every movement, every interaction, and every moment adding a new line to a narrative that stretches across billions of years and countless points of light in the sky above you. Now lift your eyes from the invisible paths of particles and look outward, beyond the ground beneath your feet, beyond the sky you recognize, into the deep structure of the cosmos itself. The same rule that shapes your heartbeat and your thoughts also governs the motion of stars, the spin of galaxies, and the slow, silent expansion of the universe. Nothing escapes it. Nothing moves beyond its reach. Imagine a galaxy as a vast city of light, billions of stars circling a dark center, each one tracing a path through space-time like a dancer following invisible music. These stars are not simply moving through empty space. They are responding to the curvature of the fabric they inhabit. Mass tells space-time how to bend, and space-time tells mass how to move. It is a conversation written into the universe, spoken without words, heard without sound. When light leaves a distant star, it does not travel in a straight line as you might expect. It follows the curves of this cosmic fabric, bending around massive objects, warping its path like a river flowing around a mountain. To you, this appears as a lens in the sky, a subtle distortion that reveals the presence of matter you cannot see. Even emptiness, it turns out, has a shape. This realization changes how you understand gravity itself. It is not a mysterious pull reaching across space. It is the geometry of reality guiding motion along the paths it allows. Planets do not fall toward stars because they are being dragged. They move because the fabric beneath them is shaped like a slope, and they follow the natural lines of that slope through space-time. Now consider the scale of this design. The universe is not static. It is expanding, stretching the very fabric that holds everything together. Galaxies drift apart, not because they are flying through space, but because space itself is growing between them. The rule remains. The limit holds, and yet the stage on which everything happens becomes larger with every passing moment. In the next part, we will turn back toward you, toward the small and familiar world of human experience, and ask what this grand cosmic structure means for a single life lived within it. You will see how your memories, your expectations, and your sense of meaning are shaped by the same invisible framework that guides the motion of galaxies. And when you connect those two views, the vast and the intimate, you may begin to feel a quiet shift inside. The universe will no longer seem like a distant, cold expanse above your head. It will feel like a living system you are woven into, a story you are helping to tell with every breath you take and every moment you move forward through the silent, stretching fabric of reality. Now bring your attention back down from galaxies and cosmic fabric to something far more familiar, yet just as mysterious. Your own experience of being here. Your memories feel like a trail behind you, your plans feel like a road ahead, and the present moment feels like the thin line you walk between them. But in the universe you have just explored, that simple picture begins to blur. Think about a memory from your past. It feels fixed, unchangeable, locked in place. But what you actually hold in your mind is not the event itself. It is a signal, carried to you by light, by sound, by patterns of energy that traveled through space and time before reaching your senses. Even your own past reaches you at a speed, filtered by the same cosmic rule that governs stars and particles. Now think about someone far away, looking at you through a powerful telescope. They are not seeing you as you are now. They are seeing you as you were, moments or years ago, depending on the distance between you. In a very real sense, different versions of you exist across the universe at the same time, each one carried outward on waves of light, each one frozen in a different moment of your life. This is where the idea of a single, universal now quietly dissolves. The present you feel so strongly is not shared by everything else. It is local. It belongs to you and the small region of space-time you inhabit. Beyond that, the universe holds countless other nows, each stitched into its own path through the cosmic fabric. And yet, despite this, you act as if the future is open and the past is closed. You make choices. You form hopes. You imagine possibilities. Physics does not take that away from you, but it frames it in a deeper context. Your decisions are not just personal moments. They are turns in the path you carve through space-time, shaping which of the many invisible roads becomes your history. In the next part, we will confront the final, unsettling implication of all this. We will ask whether the universe is something that simply exists, or something that is constantly being written, moment by moment, by every interaction and every observer within it. When you reach that question, you may feel a strange mixture of smallness and significance at the same time. Small, because you are a tiny pattern in a vast, stretching cosmos. Significant, because without patterns like you, without observers who can look, remember, and wonder, the universe would be a silent structure with no story to tell. And perhaps, in some quiet way, it is through your curiosity that the universe becomes aware of itself, one moment, one memory, one step along the path at a time. Now we arrive at the edge of the question that has been quietly growing beneath everything you have heard. If the universe is a fabric of rules, paths, and limits, then what role do you truly play inside it? Are you just another pattern moving along a predetermined road? Or are you something more, something that gives meaning to the road itself? Physics can describe how signals travel, how space-time bends, how limits shape every motion. But it does not tell you what it feels like to stand inside those rules and realize that you are aware of them. This awareness is not measured in meters or seconds. It is measured in moments of realization, in the sudden feeling that the universe is not just out there, but also somehow looking back at you through your own eyes. Every observation you make is an interaction. When you look at a star, photons that began their journey millions of years ago end their path inside your mind. In that instant, a piece of the universe's history becomes part of your own. The cosmos and the observer meet, and something new is created. A memory, a thought, a question. This is the quiet power hidden inside the rules. The universe allows structures complex enough to reflect on the universe itself. You are not separate from the system you study. You are one of its expressions. The same laws that guide galaxies into graceful spirals guide neurons into thoughts, and thoughts into the curiosity that sends you looking back up at the sky. Here is the final, unsettling idea. If every moment you experience is a point along a path through space-time, then your life is not just a sequence of events. It is a shape, a unique pattern woven into the larger design. When you act, when you choose, when you wonder, you are not just passing through the universe, you are adding to its story. The rule that limits speed, that bends time, that shapes cause and effect, does not make reality smaller. It makes it richer. It creates a universe where connection is possible, where information can flow, where patterns can grow complex enough to care about their own existence. As you step away from this series, nothing around you will look different. The sky will still be above you. The ground will still be beneath your feet. Clocks will still tick. But if you listen closely, you may feel the quiet presence of the structure behind it all, the invisible framework that makes every moment possible. And perhaps in that awareness, you will sense that the most shocking truth about the universe is not hidden in distant stars or abstract equations. It is here, in the simple fact that you are part of a system vast enough to give rise to minds that can ask what it all means. The universe does not just exist. Through you, it becomes a story that knows it is being told.